Hello, Khadija. Hello, Crystal. Are you here?
Hi, Martin. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I recognize you and your voice, Khadija. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that I didn't complete my homework, right? So we have no post of last week's 4x4.
I think let me check with Crystal.
I
Sometimes we post it
Yeah, I
over
just
years.
posted. You
Yeah.
know, is it? This is. I believe the fact to have a post out there is more important than what is specially there. Is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we post as well, like right before this with the YouTube live stream link.
Yeah. We have Markus here.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Markus, and Khadija is also here. Khadija is our marketing executive, and she helps me to organize this.
Okay, so I switch my camera off or on? I mean, I'm also fine to just keep it off.
You ask Khadija what she finds more attractive.
Then probably switch it off.
Oh, you have a picture there. Okay.
Now, the thing is the following. Because we are worldwide, we are from New Zealand to uh, the US West Coast. So when we have no video, then for the participant it's easier. And I have even done one meeting from a plane. So yeah, low data rate is king.
No problem.
Of course not. Relax. Sorry to keep you. Hey, Khadija, we have a problem here. Markus and I, we are members of the Singapore Chamber of German Singapore Chamber of Commerce. Markus, you heard me. And we should improve our communication because we are something like 10 committees. And what each committee does is very interesting, but we never promote each other. And if we would do that, we would have, um, by the power of 10 more traffic.
Hmm.
Agree?
Yeah. So and Markus, with all right, complained today that he only learned about the meeting today about 2 hours ago,
Oh, okay. Wow, so there's not much communication at all.
which is bad.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning or good afternoon, good evening, Martin.
Good morning, Rich. Hi. Good to have you here. Uh, and I hope I can keep my promise to bring the president of the Technical University of Munich online. But at least, I mean, maybe even more. The representative of Technical University of Munich in Singapore is here, which is Markus Wächter. He is a doctor, but I don't know. Do we PhD us each other or
No, we don't. Okay, our president is coming anyway.
uh, Mr. President? Hello, Thomas. How are you?
Hello.
Yes, good
I
to see
can't,
you.
I can't see you yet. Oh, now you're coming. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is the following. I show my face. So
Hello.
the thing is the following, because we are international group, we are from New Zealand to the west coast of the US, and some people are on car driving. So what we do is we usually switch the video off.
Okay.
But if, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, okay. Hello, Joe. So we have some regulars here, among others, Rich McDonald. Um, maybe we introduce. You get each one of you get 2 sentences for introducing yourself. Joe, you start 2 sentences. I cut you off when you do three.
Uh, Industrial automation engineer focusing a lot on risk as a root of everything.
Okay, Rich.
Industrial technology innovation manager, past manager, expert, if you would, um, for global manufacturing companies as well as small and medium enterprises.
Well, nice. Joe and Rich are from the US. Rich is in Chicago. Joe is somewhere south of Chicago, I believe.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Thanks, Christoph. Where are you? Who are you? What are you?
Well, I'm the innovation
Yeah, we have the limited bandwidth in China. Chris is in China, and I jump in for him. Chris is in
German
the
Chamber of
Chris, repeat, please. You were cut off. Christoph Hering is works for the Chinese Chamber of Commerce, Chinese-German Chamber of Commerce in Guangzhou, which is, Thomas, where Guangzhou is. Chris, you were cut off. I jump in for you, but you have another sentence or two. Go ahead.
Thank you. I hope you can. Yeah, basically, innovation manager for the Chinese market and also innovation scouting. So looking at the latest technology trends here in the Chinese innovation ecosystem.
Okay. For those of you who have never met Markus Wächter is the Technical University of Munich representative for Singapore. Very important person. He single-handedly almost runs the leadership of the TUM Asia. And Markus, you want to say a sentence or two?
I think, Martin, you did it very well. I mean, yeah, Marcus here, TUM has a campus in Singapore for more than 20 years in teaching and research, innovation, probably the next thing that we want to bring to Singapore first. And yeah, so I'm in charge for the education of TUM's operation here.
Okay,
Enough. Yeah.
Thomas, if I can introduce you with one sentence or two, and then you get the entire 57 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, Professor Thomas Hofmann. He's an expert in metabolism, structure, activity, relationships of these components, and food chemistry. And that relates very much with me because part of my family, we have two breweries, and that's food chemistry. And my nephew just 4 months ago at the Technical University of Munich got a PhD degree in brewery technology. And what jumped at me, Thomas, before you became president of the Technical University of Munich in 2019, for 10 years, you were the senior vice president for research and innovation. And we have innovation people here. Enough said. Please introduce yourself and please go ahead. I have a few questions for you. Rich is already has burning questions. You see, we have a broad variety of people. If we had done more marketing, we would have people from New Zealand to the west coast of the US. But today, because it was a very short notice meeting, we are with what we have. But this is recorded and broadcasted, and we don't know who is watching. So it may be that there are 40, 50 people in the background, and you don't even know that they're watching. So we are also non-political, so yeah. Thomas, over to you.
Well, also, first of all, Martin, thank you for the invitation. And first of all, my apologies for this for having this meeting on such a short notice, because I think we just agreed roughly a week ago.
Yes.
Because I had a change in my schedule, I could make me free me for this hour. So first of all,
thank you. Yes. I mean, I've sent you a few questions. There was a mistake there. My staff put wherever there should be Technical University of Munich, TUM, they put TUM Asia because I'm based in Singapore, and when they think TUM, they think TUM Asia. But that's also Marco's fault. But in general, we don't talk about what different departments or so do. We talk about innovation in general. And what really jumped at me is that for 10 years, you were the senior vice president, which is an important thing for innovation at the Technical University of Munich. Is this more for the science arm or also for the teaching, or how do you see the two intertwining? That would be for us interesting because we are people who touch innovation on a daily basis.
Well, first of all, thank you for this question. And in this my former job, for example, as senior vice president, I had a primary focus on research and innovation. So starting from fundamental research all the way up to collaboration with industry, startups, or the entire innovation pipeline, so to say. And I think we did something right because we made TUM becoming by far the leading entrepreneurial university in Germany. So we have roughly, just to give you a number, incubate today about 650 startup teams at the university, something which was completely different about 10, 15 years ago. So I think this is on a good agenda. And what we figured out is that it's so important that research and innovation is intermingled and comes together early on with the students. So, and this is, I think, was a part of your question, how education and research, so to say, benefit from each other and probably lift each other up. I personally am convinced that we, as early as possible, need to open doors to science and research and our innovation paths for students. And we do that with many different formats at TUM. So we are currently building, just to give an example, what we call Tomorrow Factory, which is like a huge makerspace hall. It's really huge, where our students can build prototypes in groups where the students come together from different directions, the computer scientists with the medical doctors, with mathematicians and so on. And they really dare to build complex prototypes and then enter into global competitions with the ETHs, the MITs, and in other universities. Because I think this early implementation of an entrepreneurial spirit, of a team spirit, of systems integration skills also, combined with curiosity, and this is what our students have, I think is the foundation to become later in their life change makers and entrepreneurs. That does not mean that they need to end up in a startup. They can, whatever they do, even in politics, I think we need entrepreneurial thinking. So I think this is why I personally think education, and also for other means, education and research, the old Humboldtian system, so to say, is still true and valid.
Yeah, sounds good. Rich, you have prepared a few. I'm only the moderator here. I have a lot of questions, but I know also the people here have questions. So please go ahead.
Thank you, Martin. Dr. Hofmann, I'm curious to learn a little bit more about this Tomorrow Factory, and where do the ideas for these initiatives, these projects, come from? Do they come from the actual field work of the students trying to solve a problem that's identified, or do they come from just fleeting thoughts of the students and they think that would be a cool thing to do and let's do it?
I think it comes from all directions. We have several programs, the Tomorrow Factory, and those student initiatives. We call them student clubs. How they form? They follow, so they say, a self-assembly principle of the students. They come together because they want to do something more next to what they learn in theory, in the lecture halls, in the seminars, and so on. And sometimes they come with some crazy ideas and they just would like to realize the ideas. So it's completely bottom up. Sometimes they see a certain challenge in industry, for example, or somewhere else in society where they would like to find a solution. And sometimes also for this, we have some paths where also they meet with industry partners, for example, to discuss certain fields of innovation and identify a certain challenge they would like to tackle. So it comes, I think, from all different type of directions. And we have several programs to support them. But all of them are student-driven.
Excellent, excellent. So then coaching them is basically where the associate professors or grad students would come in to help lead that initiative, so to speak, and sort of direct them to resources as well as to various types of approaches that they could use in problem solving and design, etc. I would expect, right?
Exactly. And for example, also through the University Foundation, we also support them financially. sometimes for just consumables, but also, for example, by bringing them together, the industry partners, and they support such initiatives also with materials. We also support them, for example, give me an example, the Hyperloop competition several years ago in the United States, where we sent our team of about 50 students over to the United States for the competition. Here, for example, the University Foundation takes over the travel costs, accommodation, and so on. So we support them where it is needed, but we don't sort of say they are the active player. The same is true for professors. If they need certain new expertise, scientific expertise, they contact professors. It's not the other way around. So it's a fully self-driven, student-driven initiative. And this is, I think, the cool thing, because the students learn what competencies or support or whatever they need to get their problem solved.
Sure. That makes a
So
lot of sense.
we don't direct them.
Yeah, I understand. So, after they identify the challenge that they're going to tackle, or the industry issue that they're going to address, you mentioned that you provide some funding for them to do that. What kind of range would that funding be, just out of curiosity?
So usually they have projects where they build a prototype and then go to somewhere else for the competition, for the global competition. They try to get the funds from different sources, as mentioned. Larger materials, primarily from industry partners. They function then as sponsors, but not through money, but through materials. And so they reach out for the right partners to support them. From the university foundation point of view, usually it goes up to 50 or 60,000 euros, which they get. And they have other sources like the alumni association. Also, they can apply for project money to get those things done. And so they collect, so to say, from different sources. And usually this university foundation is, so to say, the latest partner in this flow, where the university foundation then fills the gap to what they need, because probably they have not got everything they need.
Excellent.
But they come with a short business plan, if you want.
Yeah, sure.
I've also found in that little niche, the universities become a tax donation from a business to ask for innovation from students. So there's also like a taxation vessel reason to do it that way.
A taxation, sorry, I think
there's a tax benefit to going to a university as a
Oh.
partnership, and to pay the university, let's say $2,000, to give the students a bounty on a project. And so it becomes a donation, but the university ends up doing the money transactions,
So usually
and meeting the guidelines.
Usually it's a sponsorship to the University Foundation, and the University Foundation can then sponsor the students.
Excellent.
I also got a question.
Whereas materials are given directly to the students from the companies.
So, Dr. Hofmann, one last question for me, then somebody else can speak in. What is the percentage roughly of software versus hardware, or a combination hardware, software kinds of projects? Do you have any stats on that?
Yeah, there are not only hardware and software projects. Some of them even, they have some social programs as well, which I like, in particular because we are a technical university, and I think they should have a broad horizon, so that it also goes in this direction. But if you ask me between software and hardware, usually I would say software at the moment, about 60% to 40, I would say. Software to hardware.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyone else want? Thomas, I have a degree in mechanical engineering from the Technical University of Munich of the last century. And when I hear you talking, that sounds like a different planet to me. So what's the percentage of students who take part in those programs today? I mean, that sounds amazing to me. This is really something I would have wanted to have 40 years ago.
So as mentioned, we have we built a bunch of such support programs. The Tomorrow Factory is just one example. We have project weeks, and in other we have one project we call Project 1000 Plus. That's an initiative where we so that should build a bridge to industry, particularly also to SMEs, because SMEs usually are a bit afraid of contacting large universities, right? But they're important for our economy. So what we build in this project, for example, and then I come to the number, is that's a scaled initiative where we can send student teams to a company, to an SME. They want to do that. All this is optional. So for example, they go to a chemistry company, then they spend a week there just to learn the challenges they have. Then they go back, and after 2 months, they come back to the company in order to present a potential solution. And in several cases, they really also have to solve previously unsolved challenges in the company. Very recently, I spoke with the CEO of a chemistry company. He told me we could increase the yield of our production process by 15%, which is fantastic, through the student initiatives. So it's a benefit for the students because they can apply their knowledge in a real world challenge. It's perfect for the companies. And for the SMEs, usually because they're a bit afraid of contacting large universities, it's good for the students because they build also talent bridges to the SMEs. So this is a scalable project for us. I mean, out of those different formats, we have many. So altogether, we reach out to more than 8,000 students today. Every year, 8,000 students who are engaged in activities next to what they learn in their standard curriculum.
Okay, when I studied there, we were
It was
about
very different.
when I studied that 40 years ago, we were about 25,000 students. How many do you have currently?
You have currently about 50.
So double. Yeah, but 8,000 of 50, that's something like 16%.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 in 8 or 1 in 7 students, if they are proactive, they can benefit from those initiatives. Yeah.
Exactly. So these 8,000 are fully active. And if you would ask me how that will look like in 5 years, probably will be more about 20,000 because we see that it really goes steeply up.
Okay.
The good thing is that I ask the first semesters why they come to TUM, and 3 out of 4 tell
Yes.
me because we have seen and read and heard that university supports these entrepreneurial activities, these student-driven activities. And the
Okay.
young people today, they want to achieve more than just learning. They want to learn the foundations, this deep foundations, but then also to apply it to complex challenges. And do that at university attracts them to TUM.
Yeah, that would have attracted me as well. But just from my just to give you a comparison, we are here a group of people who touch innovation on a daily basis, and we split innovation into incremental innovation and non-incremental innovation. And an engineering school very much supports incremental innovation because then you have your textbook and you get your homework, and then they say put the window at that place and put that color and do that temperature range. And then you look in your textbooks, go back, do your homework, and then you have the new product. The problem is only with the incremental innovation, you don't get far, especially not to the next technology level. And then, so we are looking at the non-incremental innovators especially. And Rich is, for example, Rich McDonald here is an expert in getting a transfer innovation done, which is something, get the innovation from another technical area and apply it to your own company and then spread it out to all the departments there. But there's even non-incremental innovation that goes beyond that. It's called breakthrough, breakout, disruptive, and you name it. And what we found out that is 80% of the people that work with innovation in companies, 80% work with incremental innovation, and they're very happy with that. But 20% of the innovation is non-incremental, and of those 20%, maybe only 10% or so maybe 4% in total is really the breakthrough, breakout. And when I hear from you that you have 40,000 students and 8,000 of them engage in proactively engage into new projects, that for me that's the non-incremental guys among those bunch of people, right?
And I think you can see that even then translated later on, because we have programs where we support the student teams who really found fantastic solutions for something to take the next step into a startup. And by doing that also, I mentioned some of our startup numbers already, about 60% of our startups, which are spin-offs of TUM, come out of student activities at the later stage of their study, so primarily in the master level or so. And that shows that exactly what you said, and is working very well. However, regarding incremental and leapfrogging innovation, yeah, I cannot agree more with what you said, in particular when you look to a classical engineering school. But I would say it depends also where you are on the S-shaped curve of an innovation. So sometimes certain technologies are more or less at the end, and then I think even trying to further incrementally improve takes a lot of efforts. And the question is, what can be done to leapfrog again? And this is why I think this mindset, bring this mindset to the students is so important, that they should not be satisfied just by always incrementally improve existing things. I think, but just to think out of the box, to do things differently. This is what I think, at least this is my understanding, what we would like to give over to the students.
That's the purpose of our group here, because it also, I believe, I mean, we do this now for, I would say, almost 5 years on a weekly basis. And what I found over the many years is that sharing the same language and helps to explain the different directions that you can do, and especially yourself, where are you in this? Because you cannot just take what I found is I found a way to determine the personality of those non-incremental innovators, and you're either born as one or you're not. Is that something like having blue eyes or not having blue eyes? I must say, many carry the seed of a non-incremental innovator, but they don't have the environment to discover that. But some of them discover it, and I believe initiatives as your students' initiatives to determine problems that are worth to invest time to be solved is a very good way of going forward. And
yeah, I think that each and every one of our students, or in general, has a certain talent. But what I see that in many cases, when the student comes, and the students come to the university, sometimes in young age, they probably haven't found their real talents yet. And I think it's our task to figure out where they're really good in, and then to support these talents. And some of them are exactly what you said. They have this talent, what you said. It's a characteristic, but it's all a talent to do things differently, because this is what, otherwise they will not be satisfied, to have this drive, this pioneering spirit. And others are different. They probably want to drill deep holes in a scientific field. They're not necessarily interested in in real world applications, but they want to understand the smallest detail in astrophysics, for example. And also this is good. But we need to find those talents, because I'm completely convinced that if you find those talents and then you support them in the best way you can, you will get outstanding people out of the university. Because we need all of them. We don't need just one.
Of course,
Yeah.
Thomas. I speak as a non-incremental engineer. So I'm a trained motorbike mechanic, age 15, and then I was an army engineer, and then the Technical University of Munich. So I really I'm down to the oily, greasy hands thing. If you put me in a non-incremental engineering job, or even worse, management, I would get bored and I would resign after 6 months. It's simply something that I don't like. And the problem is to get the guts, or maybe the self-understanding that you can say from yourself, this is my place and this is where I thrive, this is what I want to do, and this is what I do not want to do. Because it's always easy when you have relatives or uncles or professors who say, now you're the scientist. And if you ask me to become a scientist, I'm really the wrong addressee, right?
And that's why you need to offer to the students different options. And I think we do quite a bit in that. We had, for example, 2 weeks ago, now for the second time, a huge hackathon on defense technologies. And it was in Garching, but it was open to all European universities. And that was a fantastic event. With hundreds of students from all different universities coming together, building prototypes. That was fantastic. Something like that, I think, definitely will bring out some great people.
Yeah, I believe so. Very good. I mean, the good thing is that you have these initiatives. The I believe what is lacking is communication a bit, because we all have our preconceived ideas of what science is about, what a university is about, what a university is not is about, and what you can deliver, and what makes you outstanding. The I really don't like the last century, because you and I, we are last century guys, right? We have seen both worlds, and
Yeah, maybe I can jump in here for a
go ahead,
question, Martin.
Christoph.
Yeah, Dr. Hoffmann, I also have a quick question. I'm also from Munich, of course, TUM, and all of the great work you do is very famous also beyond Germany. I'm very curious, how replicatable is it for other German universities if they also want to focus more on entrepreneurship? I think overall the percentage of students who graduate and found their own business overall is very low. It's around below 5%, I think. So for other universities in Germany, how easily can they replicate your success?
It's a very good question, and probably there are multiple. And I'll give you another number just to underline what you said. So, for example, our startups raise about 25% of the overall German venture capital, and that shows how heterogeneous the distribution is, because we have more than 100 universities. And so you're absolutely right. And I think it's a cultural thing. It's not necessarily what type of support measures you have also, yeah, but it's a cultural thing. So is it the culture of the university to support discovery and then translation into real world impact? Is that something university is looking for? Is that something university uses to evaluate success? Or is it only scientific publications? If it's only scientific publications, there will be no surprise that there will not be many startups coming out later. So it's a question of appreciation. So when, for example, we tenure professors, and there's a professor with probably 1-2 papers less than others, but he or she founded a fantastic growing company, a tech company, a deep tech company, that is also highly appreciated and will lead to a positive evaluation. So that's a bit, it's the spirit of the university. And this is usually, as you know, cultural change is not happening from Monday to Tuesday. It takes some years. And that same was happened at TUM 10, 15 years back. University was different. Today, it's just normal that also professors or scientists or students found a company when they have good ideas. But that was not the case 15 years ago. So it takes some time. And that's why I think the leadership of university is important, because leadership sets also the direction and puts incentives there and there, which you need to further develop the entire machine.
Christoph, done?
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I would like to hear your comparison with China, if you have insight, in just one or two sentences.
Yeah.
Because in China, just today I met an old friend of mine, and now he has one of those hidden champions. He's a hidden giant now. I mean, so and
Well, in China, they have basically a very strict or very well developed industry for the university support programs, I would call it. For example, if you take the Tsinghua University, they have their own accelerator programs where they are supporting talents from the university very early on and help them to set up their own businesses. And these students, they get basically the full support. So during the university, you already get not only an office for free, but also access to good lab equipment, access to funding. It even goes as far that the university have their own supply chains for materials. So if you have a good hardware idea and you need a manufacturer who can provide you with the right tooling to make this idea happening, then the university will suggest you to a pool of partners. So it is very easy to transfer an idea from the classroom into a prototype and then into scale it up to a finished product.
I'm
So there's
convinced,
really extensive
Christoph, I'm
programs.
convinced that this works, yes, but is it the same as in Munich, push, proactive, which shows that this student is special, or is it more pull?
At the end, you need both. Yeah? We have the same things. We have all these accelerator programs. We have an Unternehmertum venture capital fund. We have all this, and this is needed. So that would be so to say the support equipment that needs to be there. And even if it goes into the supply chain, it's even better what you said. This is a great idea. But I think you need also to put the tone when the students come in early on. For example, when we have the first semester event where all the new students come in, usually I give an elevator pitch for them, and then I ask 3 or 4 startups to present themselves in front of the community and to show what's possible here, so that the students early enough know what they can achieve here. And this is important as well. This is culture building.
It reminds me to Matteo Renzi with his Founder Institute, which you have surely heard of. So yeah, I believe Alan is raising his hand for 15 minutes already. Please do me a favor. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Alan Zettelmann. Very nice conversation. I'm happy Christoph invited me today and very glad to be here. I'm applying the Innovation 360 methodology from Sweden. I don't know if you are aware about it. And it's a very practitioner-oriented topic. And back to the topic when we spoke about that the different persons like I think it was Martin who said that if he don't get the right projects, he will get bored. I would like to go dig deeper in this topic. How do you do to screen the people? So the way we do it is we separate the projects in Horizon 1, 2, and 3, and then we put a level of uncertainty to these different horizons. And at the same time, we define the personas, like, are you an anthropologist? Are you more the director, the hardware, etc.? And then we align projects, uncertainty of the project, and kind of persona which we need in this project. So for example, for Horizon 3 project, we need researchers, but also people who have more capabilities like an astronaut. It's an explorer, somebody who wants to dig deeper in an uncertain topic, no matter what it costs to find something new. And this person will never be able to be an accountant from the other side, or to run a Horizon 1 where the push is cash, you know. So I had the beginning of the year a conversation with a UN professional who said that they are also looking to find young leaders, and how to detect this leadership capabilities in an early stage. They are looking for it in guys with 8 years old already. But if we focus on your experience in the university, given these 3 horizons and this uncertainty and type of persona, do you have a methodology to fish out the right people for the right projects, or is more like mentoring them to find their way?
Yeah, it definitely we don't do that. So we open different options to them. Then they follow some route. We mentor them. Sometimes we then support them to go into another direction. Sometimes we support them to deepen that what they do. And to do this, we bring them together with mentors also from outside of the university, also from industry, for example, or from other areas in society. But we don't have this strict format like guidance. And I'm not sure, I just, while I'm speaking, I think about that, whether this would be the right tool to do for the students. I'm not sure, but probably I can learn it.
Alan and Thomas, maybe I can chime in. I believe that when you deal with young people, they need guidance, and I believe it would be a very good idea to give them guidance what they want to do with their life. Because I know, I remember myself when I was second semester student, and I was really seeking for somebody who could tell me what I could do with my life. Because I come from a very little village, very simple. I mean, I was a TUM, the Technical University of Munich student, right? So I came there like a country pumpkin, not knowing anything, going to Munich and then finding out the big world. And I believe many of us would have loved to get some guidance with that. And what I know from psychology, because during COVID I studied clinical psychology in Toronto with a friend of mine. I found out that psychology developed so much over time. So we have all the tools together, especially for us. I mean, when I say engineers, you're not an engineer, you're a chemist, right? So, but I take you in as an engineer at Technical University. So as us technical people, we know how to deal with statistics, and we know if you do a material test it's just one test sample. But I would love to know where am I in the whole sample? And over time, I found out, yes, when the exams, I was in a certain percentile constantly, the best 20% or so. That's where I aim to be all the time, not to be the best, but just to have a B or a B plus or A minus or something like that. And for me, that was more than enough. But I believe if someone had taken me aside and said, "Hey, Martin, we have directors. Alan, what classification did you manage?" I know managers, technicians, and entrepreneurs. Those 3 are very famous. Another one, whatever. If someone had told me, "Look, you can do that with your life for that one and that one and that one," I would have been very happy with that.
Yeah, I agree.
We
I
do that.
also have my first career coach with 33, and I think a career coach with 17 will be much enhancing into the life of the young people.
But where we go a little bit in this direction, what you said, Alan, identifying the right personas, put them together in a team. We don't do that on the student level. We do something like that then when it comes to support or to building startup teams. Because sometimes there are, I don't know, one founder or two, but they need certain capabilities they don't have with those two persons. So we try to bring them together with other persons who could help them to really become a functioning founder team. And since we do that now since about 10, 12 years. Our startups really run much more efficiently. Because in the
And one
past,
question,
we did something wrong 10 years ago. We always thought that if there's an outstanding physicist with a fantastic discovery, and he or she said, I would like to found a company, that this will be definitely the one to lead the company. So we need the right team to do that, and we are very active in putting the right teams together. But we don't do that on the student project level.
Okay, I agree. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just found out, Thomas, to give you a feedback from innovation, how to say, expert. Yeah, I don't like to call myself expert. I touch innovation on a daily basis. I send away as a patent attorney certain inventors if they do not match certain criteria. And since I do that, I have much more satisfaction with what I do in innovation because the success rate is remarkably higher. And I, yeah, when Alan says that they select certain people for certain criteria at the student level already, I must come back to the Founders Institute. Maybe you haven't seen that, but they are using clinical psychology technologies for defining or finding out the right people who are non-incremental innovators. And that always comes with a thrive for making profit. And that what I can say, because I've seen more than 100 bankruptcies from inside, that to me that makes a difference between a company going bankrupt and not going bankrupt. And yeah, that just came to, as we are talking, we were thinking, but that's also characteristic for what we do here. Does this trigger something in you, or do you say no, that enough talked about that and we talk about something else? I have AI, for example, but Thomas, over to you. Is your hour?
No, we can talk a bit on AI as well, because I think we all see how opportunities are changing through AI. In particular for us as universities, it's a major topic in all different dimensions.
Yeah, so my firm is the world market leader in training patent attorneys in AI for drafting patents. We have done more than 200 practitioner trainings, and there are only 15,000 of them out there. And my experience is that in average, the working speed of a patent attorney when using AI doubles. And there are some patent attorneys that quadruples their speed and have a better quality than before, and some even do it 8 times faster than before. But I must also say that 20% of those that we have trained have a speed that is slower than before. So that's what I have found, and it's not only smartness or whatever personality trait you want to assign to that one. It's a whole package. And I imagine if I do the same with a engineering student, I would get similar results.
Yeah, we see that also, for example, in give you a very simple example, because for example, in our coding classes in computer science,
Yeah,
some
exactly.
years
Yes.
ago, yeah, some years ago, it took them about 6 weeks to write a certain code, and today the I would say the best students can do it in a day, and the second best need probably 2 days. So it's a massive change. It's a massive change, and this is just one example. It will go in research in any way. I think there's nothing we need to talk about. Yeah, this is, I think, undisputed. For us at the moment, a major challenge is how it will further impact education, because this is, I think, we can imagine where the change will go, but that's a tricky question. It's still not very clear.
Yeah,
It's not just about using ChatGPT and AI tools.
of course not, but because AI is much more than just a language model, right? So, yeah. Uh, I mean, what I see in my limited world when I look at you know what I find amazing from the start, we never ever even talk about academic values or academic,
Mhm.
you know, we were talking. And that's already special because you are very different from a typical academic. Very different, I would say, is the academic. I mean, you need probably you need both. If you don't have scientists who go deep, then how would you challenge students, right? So it's then repetitive, and then the teaching can be done by large language models because they thrive on what has happened in the past. But if you don't have a scientist who looks forward, then let's say 80 years ago, there would not have been Kerntechnik and things. When you look the Oppenheimer movies of,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, you need people who work at the border of what is technically possible in order to teach then innovators or even incremental engineers to fill out the gaps that they leave behind in order to make it industrially applicable. So I believe if you ask me what is the future of teaching, if you have just someone who repeats what has been done in the past, you can use AI. But if you want to be a real engineering school, German style, you need scientists. There's no way around.
Yeah, and I think but you need to teach. I think the question is not, and this is what I think you see at many places. How can we, so to say, fit education in? How can we fit AI into education? I think that's the wrong question. The question is, what is our education goal? So what type of personalities do we want to have at the very end? And so and then it's the question, how can AI contribute to in a meaningful full way to that goal? And so it's other way around, and that's why I think there are, next to all what AI can deliver, I think we also need to build much more human interactivity into our universities. Because as mentioned, I still think that many challenges will be only solved in teams. So you need also to develop personalities and social interactivity, and also some respectful exchange to build trust in collaborative teams and this type of things. So it's not only just receiving knowledge through AI or information through AI.
Yeah, we are back to the communication part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also communication tools for running. Uh, uh, I mean, I tried to put that into practice in my own firm. We are 13 people in a home office, and but highly qualified and very proactive, plus a few dozens of freelancers who contribute or not. So, and I found it quite challenging over the past 5 years to design a system where people communicate, speak the same language, and go for the same goal. And but I can see that this is a essential part of when you look like the when you read about home office, right? There are two different types of companies. The smaller ones who want the people all in the home office because they see the advantages, and the majority who say the middle managers say, I want to see my people on the ground so that I can better control whether they work or not. And a creative environment with proactive people, I believe, needs the first type of companies. And it shouldn't matter so much whether you are online or present or whether you have a video image or not, but it's about the culture that you adopt, and at least that's what I do here. And I mean, we are doing the same here, right? You on a short notice, you decide, okay, I jump in. I don't know what expects to me, but they are not bad people, and let's see what we get out of it. And I hope that you come back because it's so enlightening what you tell.
Oh, but it's really, if you would ask me, how is university education looking like in 10 years from now? It may be difficult to imagine with certain precision, I would say. But definitely AI will bring a massive boost in automation, or even in education. So how we automating content creation, for example, it will enable a high degree of personalized tutoring also. These things will come, but the AI systems will not, I think, substitute outstanding professors, because they lead also by, and this is a human thing also, they lead by personality. If you think back to your own education, I think there will be probably one or two people in your life who really, I say, stimulated you very early on, where you still say, this was a fantastic person. These type of experiences are also a big part
Thomas,
of.
I have one. Professor Truckenbrot. You know him? You remember him?
I know him by name.
Okay. So I was one of his students. He was in his 80s, and I had higher fluid dynamics, something like that, with him. And I heard everything about what you can hear about fluid dynamics from him. This guy is my example for life. I will never forget him, and I will do the same as him, work into my 80s and provide purpose and value for those who follow me. So, yes, I can fully attest to that. And without such personalities, university can be replaced by a distance learning course. And even the distance learning course done by feeding a last century textbook into an AI that would generate a series of video streams that the students listen to, and then they sit for an exam, and then they do this and that. But that's not a university.
Sometimes I'm questioning, we had a discussion yesterday, but it was not an education, it was an AI in publications, in how we publish today. And I'm an editor of a journal, and what we see more and more is that now publications are prepared or written by ChatGPT, and then they send out to review, and the reviewers, peer reviewers, will also use ChatGPT, so to say, to judge on the publication. And I'm asking myself, where this entire space of scientific publication will go in the future, because it's sometimes ridiculous if you have this AI ping pong playing, right?
Thomas, I can put something on top. I just have received an order from a client of ours who wants us to read in 100 dissertations, PhD theses, and compare them in a systematic way among each other and with the literature available at the time when they submitted it, which is very similar to a patent attorney work if you want to destroy a competitor's patent. And these dissertations are from the last century, from when we too studied and finished and whatever, and the result is shocking. And so it's about content, I would say, and whether the content is unique and how it is presented to be unique, and that would also then close the gap between patents and scholar literature. And I believe there's a big gap because you seldom see scholar literature used as prior art documents in patent. But that's only in a side lane. I just want because I had it on my desk yesterday. That's why I say.
Martin, could I interrupt? Martin.
You have 4 minutes and then we close hard.
Dr. Hofmann, appreciate your time today and all your input. It's been very, very interesting. I just have one last question for you. And again, this is Rich. As practitioners, in this group, how can we help TUM?
On what? In general, or help on what?
In any facet that would be beneficial.
I think there are many ways to do that. If you would ask me, it would be fantastic if some of our students would have the possibility to come together with you and your colleagues and just to think of what the future needs, in particular through the glasses of real-world innovators as you are, because this is very stimulating, not only for me, I think particularly for the next generation. I always tell my students, I'm history anyway, you're the future. And that's why I think that would be a helpful thing. We have also formats for that. That would be something where I could see a lot of support for our students.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. I'd be very much
really good students. You will see they are really demanding as well.
Yeah, sure. I'd be very interested in doing something like that. Thank you for your comment, and please let Martin know or let me know directly if that's something of interest.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a program here, and we plant seeds here. We have also limited time. We all have our job, right? And then we take Thomas, just to update you, we have this 1 hour every week, is every Thursday 4 p.m. German time, and we discuss the whole range of innovation from university to the final product. There are people here who come to ask for insights or opinions and whatever. And we are not here to benefit from to get some revenue from getting a new client or so, but we enjoy innovation because we do it on a daily basis. And if you like the hour here, please come back. We have about 30 seconds left, and I don't want to start a new. Thank you, Thomas, for the insight, for joining us. I'm really grateful for your time here and for the hour that you spent of your time. Thank you so much.
Was a pleasure. Thank you all for your openness, and definitely we can do that again.
Thank you.
Back to me.
And thank you, Markus, for making it possible as well. And Christoph and Joe and Alan and Rich also, and all those who asked the question and contributed. Thank you again, and see you next. You are all online, or whatever you said will be there for eternity. Goodbye and good night or good morning. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Very much.
Bye.
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.